I still think Yushin Okami deserves that shot, and I know we can talk about this for 3 hours, but I definitely think Demian Maia is ready. He has been unbelievable as of late.
Describe for the audience, because he got it done pretty quickly, how he actually executed this submission. And this is why mixed martial arts is cool. I know people, some out there are not very appreciative of the groundwork, but when you see the artistry and the nuance that goes into a finish, like Maia produced on this night, it should get you pretty charged up.
You don't see guys often start the submission on their feet. While they're already locked up, he submitted him via triangle choke, and he already had I believe it was his right arm already locked, and then took him down. And by then it was like he was almost 2/3 of the way done. Sonnen tried to escape for a minute, but once he got that triangle choke sunk in, like the moment he had it sunk in, I knew that Sonnen wasn't going to escape. This guy is, as Joe Rogan said, has been doing this jiu-jitsu thing for many, many years before he ever got into MMA, and you just had to know that Sonnen's pretty good on the ground, and they talked about that as well, how he prides himself on his groundwork. But I mean, the second Sonnen, I think he even said it to you. Correct me if I'm wrong. That he said that he'd only been training for this fight for like 3 weeks because he was focusing on Matt Lindland's fight for Affliction, and just only after that fight was he really focusing his attention on Demian Maia. The second he said that, I knew he was done, because Demian Maia is not a guy that you can just, kind of worry about 3 weeks out. This guy is for real, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's holding that belt sometime between now and like 2010.
Wow, bold prediction. Yeah, you know what, Sonnen actually, when we talked to him 2 weeks ago, or not even 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, he said that it hadn't been until about, say, 3 weeks out from the fight that he finally watched the tape of Demian Maia, and he said that it was amazing because he'd never seen anything like this, where a guy actually tries to grab you, pull you down on top of him to work submissions, and it's looking back on it, I can't remember a fighter who lost ever predicting the exact way he would lose.
Yeah, and you mentioned that he called it to a T. It's almost as though he was fearing his own demise there. It's a bad time for the Team Quest guys, the way that Matt Lindland was knocked the hell out against Vitor Belfort at the Affliction show, and now this one. This was not a good performance for him, and especially, say all you want about Paulo Filho and the last time he and Sonnen fought for that WEC middleweight title over in November. Sonnen did not look good at all. I mean, he did not seize the day in that fight against Paulo Filho, as weird as he was acting, and he definitely didn't look good now. Those comments that he made earlier in the week, that this fight is to determine who is the best middleweight in the world, kind of makes him sound a little dumb at this point, because he did not look like he belonged in that discussion at all.
All right, well, let's continue on that. We'll get to Mark Hart, and then we'll look ahead to Demian Maia potentially against Anderson Silva. Ariel Helwani's with us in New York, and Steve Cofield out here in Vegas. It's the Jewelers of Las Vegas post-fight show. We do this after every big UFC card. It doesn't matter if it's big or not. They're all big now, and UFC 95 delivered some really nice results. We're going to break down the entire card, but I had a chance to grab Demian Maia just a little while ago. The Brazilian was actually hanging out, I think, at the hotel. He was getting ready to go grab a snack just a couple hours after his victory, and I was asking him where he's going to go get something to eat.
I don't know. It's my first time here in London, but I hope so, because I'm hungry.
So Demian, what did you think of the first of all, the venue, the crowd? How did the crowd react in London?
Very, very nice. I like it a lot. There was a lot of people. The O2 was full. They already said to me that was where one of the nicest place to fight in O2 Arena, and really is. And the crowd loved jiu-jitsu. I was surprised that they were, supporting me. Because I was thinking, maybe in London people don't know me, but they were supporting me a lot. It was very nice.
All right, so tell me about the fight. Early on, you tried to get him to the ground, and he kind of engaged when you were on your back. So what were you thinking early on when he was mixing it up, but he wouldn't come into your guard?
I knew he was coming to do that. He was not going to be inside my guard, but try to stand up all the time. And I knew also that he was a top wrestler, like all American wrestler, and very, very hard to take down. So I was prepared to not just try to put him down, but if I need to stand up with him and do striking like I did, that's no problem. And then when you can do that, then you can, try take down in the middle of the way. It's easier, not just try to take down, but striking with the guy and then take down, it's easier. And that's what I did.
That's Demian Maia with us here. We're doing post-fight for UFC 95. He was a big winner against Chael Sonnen. So take me through the scenario for the final submission. You get him against the cage, I guess with some underhooks, and then just an awesome throw and a quick transition.
Yeah, when I threw him, he felt that he was trying to escape from the mount, and then I realized, he was going to the triangle. I let him go. I just put my weight right on his neck to don't let him escape, and then I just wait him to turn and fall into my triangle.
What is that throw called? The way you did it with was it with underhooks? What do you call that?
I don't have name for that. I just a way that I felt how to throw him in that position and works, but I don't have like special name for that.
Have you used that before?
I should see the tape because normally I'm so concentrated during the fight that I can't remember well what I did. I just remember that I throw him down and I get the triangle and I exchange some punches, stand up. I remember I was on the bottom at one point, but I don't remember well how was the takedown. I should see the video and I didn't see it before make sure.
Well, to the best of your recollection, what did you think of your stand-up?
My stand-up has improved a lot since I started in this business. I felt pretty confident to stand up with him. I think that's no problem anymore. Of course, I have a long way to make it much better, but at least now I feel comfortable to stand with most of the guys.
Now you're in Las Vegas full time, right, at Vanderlei's gym?
Not full time. I live in Brazil, but I come to Vegas all the time. At least like 2 weeks before my fights, I come to Vegas. I start my camp in Brazil, but I finish in Vegas.
So what do you concentrate most on in Vegas in terms of what do you work on the most?
I work important for me. So it's like half a half. I do half of the camp in Brazil, a little bit more, and the final in Las Vegas.
Demian Maia is with us here on our post-fight show, our Jewelers of Las Vegas post-fight show. So as you look ahead, do you want the title shot next? Do you need another fight before you get Anderson Silva?
No, I want the title shot. I don't know if it's going to be against Anderson or Thales because Thales is going to fight now for the title against Anderson. Doesn't matter who, I want the title shot now.
That's a good point. So you're in a long line of guys who want Anderson Silva. Now, we've heard many times, Demian, that hey, the key to beating this guy is jiu-jitsu, is wrestling, is getting him to the ground. What's your impression of Anderson Silva and how he's improved in terms of defending the takedown and defending the submission?
For me, he defends takedown pretty well. Some kinds of takedown, not all kinds of takedown, but like he has some good defense for takedowns. He's danger. He used his knee well. I think he's not easy fighter. Even if I take him to the ground, he's very tough fighter. It's also hard to take him to the ground, but even if you take, it's hard to fight against him because he's a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, also.
How do you feel you would fare with the stand-up? How scary is Anderson with the stand-up?
I think the most scariest guy in the world to stand up in front of.
Yeah, he is. He's been devastating. Do you think in any way he's been overhyped a little bit because he hasn't had to face a lot of wrestlers and top-notch Jiu-Jitsu guys during this big run in the UFC?
No, but he just fought Dan Henderson, and Dan Henderson is a top wrestler.
He is. I don't know that he's really fought a top-level jiu-jitsu guy, though.
Yeah, top-level jiu-jitsu guy, no, I don't think so. Thales is going to be the first one. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that I want to see. So
last thing to address, when we're talking to Demian Maia, we heard, I think it was Machida, say that he wasn't really comfortable fighting Thiago Silva as a fellow Brazilian. Does that matter to you? Is that something you have to kind of throw out the window because, hey, the title is the title?
No, I think, I'm professional, and the title is the title also. I need to... If doesn't matter who is there, if it's a Brazilian, American, Canadian, Russian, European, if I want the title, I cannot have this kind of desire. I should go and fight anyone.
Right. I was just doing my write-up for Yahoo Sports, and I made a reference to you as a guy who doesn't necessarily have to beat up the opponent to win, and that your jiu-jitsu is on a level that is kind of like Royce Gracie back in the day. Is that unfair? Is that too much? Am I overhyping you?
Yeah, Royce, was, a guy who put he came first. He was the guy, and he was very, courageous guy to go there and fight everybody in that time. I think now it's just I'm different fighter than that time. You know, it's different jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu has been developed.